join a video call and the first words out of your mouth are, "Can you hear me?" If you just thought, "Yeah, that's me," then you are in the perfect place. Because today, we're replacing that awkward beginner-sounding phrase with what professionals actually say. Welcome to Speak Like a Native. Hey everyone, welcome to Speak Like a Native. I'm Maya.
And I'm Leo. Let's get into it.
So, Leo, you work remotely sometimes, right? You're on video calls.
Oh, yeah, all the time. And I'll be honest, Maya, I have definitely started calls with, "Hello, can you hear me?" It just feels natural.
It feels natural because everyone does it, but that's the problem. When everyone does it, it becomes the default, the beginner phrase. Native speakers in a professional setting have moved past it. They use something more efficient, more confident.
Okay, I'm intrigued. What do they say instead?
We're going to cover 3 lifesaver phrases today: the audio check, the mute reminder, and the screen share announcement. But let's start with the big one, replacing "Can you hear me?" Tell me, Leo, what's wrong with asking "Can you hear me?"
Well, it puts the responsibility on the other person. Like their job is to hear me, and if they can't, it's maybe their problem.
Exactly, it's a closed question. It can be answered with a simple yes or no, and it doesn't move the meeting forward. More importantly, it sounds like you're unsure about your own technology. The professional approach is to state your situation and invite confirmation. So instead of "Can you hear me?" you say, "Can everyone hear me okay?" Or "Let me just do a quick audio check. Can you hear me all right?"
Whoa, can everyone hear me okay? That's different.
It's massively different. "Can you hear me?" is focused on you. "Can everyone hear me okay?" is focused on the group's experience. It's considerate, and adding "okay" or "all right" softens it. It's not a demanding "Can you hear me?" It's a collaborative check-in. Here's a real scenario. Imagine you're the last to join a team meeting of 5 people.
Okay, I'm joining. I see 4 faces.
Right. The beginner instinct is to wave and say, "Hi, can you guys hear me?"
Guilty as charged.
Instead, you join, smile, and say, "Hi everyone, sorry I'm a minute late. Can you hear me okay?" You state your minor apology, then you do the audio check in a way that's polite and efficient.
That does sound smoother. What do they say back?
They might say, "Yes, we can hear you fine, Leo," or "loud and clear." Or if there is a problem, they might say, "Actually, you're a bit choppy," or "We can hear you, but your audio is cutting out. Now you have specific information. Can you hear me?" Just gets a yes or no.
I see, so it's about framing. Instead of asking for a service, you're offering a check. Okay, phrase 1. Can everyone hear me okay? Got it. What's phrase 2?
Before we get to phrase 2, I want you to try it. I'm going to be Sarah, your colleague. We've just started a one-on-one catch-up call. Go.
Okay. Um, Hi Sarah. Good morning. Can you hear me okay?
Perfect. See? You didn't ask, "Can you hear me?" You used the better version. And I would respond, "Yes, perfect. Can you hear me as well?"
Oh, right. I should check too. Yes, I can hear you great.
Beautiful. That's a natural professional opening. Now, here comes the moment that happens in probably 70% of all video calls. Phrase 2. Someone is talking, but no sound is coming out.
The mute button. The eternal struggle.
Exactly. And here's the classic learner mistake. They often say, "You are on mute." Just like that. Direct. It can sound a little bit like a command or an accusation.
But they are on mute. Isn't that just stating a fact?
It is a fact. But in English, especially American workplace English, we often soften direct facts with a little buffer. Saying "you are on mute" to your boss or a client can sound blunt. The magic phrase is, "I think you might be on mute," or "You might be on mute."
Might be. But I know they're on mute. I can see the mute icon.
Ha! I know, it feels like lying, but it's not about the technical truth. It's about social politeness. Might be introduces doubt. It gives the other person an easy out. It sounds like you're helping them solve a possible problem, not pointing out their mistake. It's a huge difference in tone.
Can you give me an example?
Of course. Let's say I'm in a meeting with you and our manager, David. David starts presenting, but his microphone is off.
Okay. So I say, David, I think you might be on mute.
Yes. And compare the feeling. David, you are on mute versus David, I think you might be on mute. The first one can make David feel a bit silly. The second one makes you sound like a helpful team member. It's a tiny word that makes a big difference.
That's fascinating. So might be is the secret sauce. What if it's a more casual call with a close colleague?
Great question. With a close colleague, you can be more direct but still friendly. You could say, "Hey Sam, you're muted," with a smile, or "You're on mute." But for anyone else, clients, senior people, new contacts always use might be. Now let's practice. I'll be David, the manager. I start talking without sound.
David, I think you might be on mute.
Perfect. See how that feels? Helpful, not critical. Now David might say, "Oh, thanks, Leo," and then you hear him. Beautiful teamwork.
Okay, I'm sold. Phrase 2, I think you might be on mute. What's the third lifesaver phrase?
The third one is about taking action. You need to show your screen. The textbook phrase many learners use is "now I will share my screen." It's grammatically perfect, but a bit robotic.
What's wrong with it?
It's just a statement. It doesn't prepare people. The more natural phrase is "let me share my screen," or "I'm going to share my screen now."
Let me share my screen. That sounds proactive.
It is. "Let me" is a very common and soft way to announce what you're about to do. It implies you're taking the initiative to help the meeting. "Now I will share" is just a report. Also, after you share, it's good to check, can everyone see my screen okay? Again, focusing on the group's experience.
So the sequence is, let me share my screen. Can everyone see that okay?
Exactly. And if you're sharing a specific document, be even clearer. "Let me pull up that report and share my screen." One moment. "Okay, can everyone see the spreadsheet?"
This is so practical. So to recap, instead of can you hear me, we say can everyone hear me okay? Instead of you are on mute, we say I think you might be on mute. And instead of I will share my screen, we say let me share my screen.
Perfect recap, Leo. Now, here's the part that surprises most people. These phrases aren't just about being polite, they're about sounding competent and in control of the technology. When you use these, people subconsciously think, "Oh, this person does a lot of video calls. They know what they're doing."
That's the goal, to not sound like I'm struggling with the tech. Okay, let's do a full practice scenario. You be my colleague, Jamie. We have a 10 a.m. check-in call.
All right, I'll join and make the classic mistake first, and you respond correctly. Ready?
Ready.
Hi, Leo. Can you hear me?
Okay, so you just said the thing we're trying to avoid. My natural response should be to model the better way and also check my own audio. So I'd say, hi, Jamie. Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me okay?
Excellent. Yes, I can hear you fine. So, about the Q3 numbers.
Jamie, I think you might be on mute.
Oh, sorry. There. As I was saying, I've got the report ready. Do you want me to show it?
Yes, please.
Okay, let me share my screen. Just a second. All right, can you see the chart now?
Yes, I can see it perfectly. Wow, Maya, that flowed so much better.
It really did. You sounded confident and helpful. Now, I want to address some common errors learners make from different language backgrounds because this is super relatable. For example, many Spanish and Italian speakers might directly translate and say, "You have mute," instead of "you're on mute." In English, we use the preposition on with mute.
You have mute sounds like you possess silence.
Right, it's on mute. Similarly, some learners from Chinese or Japanese backgrounds might omit the subject and just say "on mute" as a warning, which can sound too abrupt. Always use the full soft phrase, "I think you might be on mute."
What about the audio check? Any common mistakes there?
Yes, a common mistake is using "here" incorrectly in the continuous form. They might say, "Are you hearing me?" which sounds odd. We use can you hear me or are you able to hear me? Hearing in this sense isn't usually used in the present continuous. Stick with can you hear.
Good to know. So, for our listeners driving or doing chores, let's repeat those 3 key phrases one more time. First, for audio, can everyone hear me okay?
Second, for the mute button, I think you might be on mute.
Third, for screen sharing, let me share my screen.
And remember, the goal is to focus on the group's experience. Can everyone, I think you might, let me? It's all about being collaborative, not demanding.
Now, for a bit of cultural context, why does this might be thing matter so much in American English?
It ties into a broader cultural value of indirectness in certain situations to preserve harmony and avoid embarrassing others. We call it softening language. We use words like maybe, might, could be, a little bit to make criticism or corrections easier to swallow. It's not about being dishonest, browse, it's about being tactful. In a high-stakes work meeting, tact is professional currency.
That makes so much sense. It's not just about the words. Swiss, it's about the relationship.
Exactly. Now, here's your listener challenge. In your next video call, whether it's work, a class, or even a call with a friend, try using at least one of these 3 phrases. Pay attention to how it feels and how people respond. I bet it will feel more professional.
And if you want more of these tiny tweaks that make a huge difference, that's what we do every day here on Speak Like a Native. Hit subscribe and the bell so you don't miss our next episode, where we'll tackle how to naturally agree and disagree in meetings.
So, to wrap up today's rule, swap. Can you hear me? For can everyone hear me okay? Swap. You are on mute for you might be on mute. And swap I will share for let me share.
Thanks for listening, everyone. Keep practicing.
See you in the next one.